Sometimes love begins quietly, almost like a secret the heart keeps safe. You carry it in your thoughts, in your late night smiles, in the way your world changes when one person walks into it. I try to keep it calm, tried to act like nothing had changed, like my heart was still the same as before. But love doesn't stay hidden forever. But love doesn't stay hidden forever. Music. Because when you truly love someone, it grows stronger than your fears, louder than your silence, and brighter than every doubt you once had. And suddenly you realize something beautiful, something honest. You can't hide it anymore. Not the way your heart chooses them every day. Not the dreams that now include their smile, their voice, their future beside yours. What started as a quiet feeling has become a promise inside your soul. And today, I'm not speaking from a place of fear or hesitation, music. I'm speaking from love, the kind of love that finally stops hiding and starts building a life. Because some truths are too beautiful to keep secret. And this one is about a wedding my heart can't hide anymore. There was a time when I believed some feelings were meant to stay quiet. Music. Not because they were weak, but because they were sacred. The kind of emotions you hold close to your chest like a small flame you protect from the wind. I carried that flame inside me for a long time. I walked through ordinary days pretending everything was the same, pretending my heart had not changed its direction, pretending that the world had not suddenly become brighter because of one person. But love has a strange way of revealing itself. It begins softly, almost unnoticed, like a whisper at the edge of your thoughts. You don't realize at first how deeply it is entering your life. You just notice little things. The way you smile when their name appears on your phone, the way the day feels lighter after hearing their voice, the way silence between you never feels empty. At first, you tell yourself it's nothing, just a passing feeling, just a moment of warmth that will eventually fade away like many others before it. You convince yourself that it's safer not to look too closely at it, safer to keep it hidden, safer to keep walking through life as if your heart has not already chosen someone. But the truth is that real love does not fade quietly. It grows, slowly, steadily, patiently, like roots pushing deeper into the earth, where no one can see them yet. And every day those roots grow stronger, you begin to notice that your thoughts return to them again and again, not because you force them to them again and again, not because you force them to, but because your heart naturally moves in their direction. You think about the way they laugh, the way their eyes hold 1,000 unspoken stories, the way their presence turns ordinary moments into memories. There is something powerful about loving someone without announcing it to the world. It becomes a private universe between two souls, a quiet understanding that doesn't need explanation, a language made of glances, small smiles, and the gentle comfort of knowing someone truly sees you. For a long time, I lived inside that quiet universe. I told myself it was enough, enough to care about them silently, enough to protect the feeling by keeping it hidden from the noise of the world, enough to let the days pass without speaking the truth that was slowly growing inside me. But love, real love, doesn't stay small. It begins to shape the way you see the future. Suddenly, tomorrow is not just about your own plans anymore. Tomorrow becomes a place where their happiness matters just as much as your own. Their dreams begin to feel connected to yours. And that realization can be frightening because when you understand that someone has become part of your future, you also understand how vulnerable that makes you. Your heart is no longer standing alone. It is standing beside another heart, hoping the rhythm will stay the same. So sometimes we hide love, not because we doubt it, but because we are afraid of how powerful it is. I was afraid of that power, afraid of the moment when quiet feelings would turn into spoken promises, afraid of the moment when the secret inside my chest would no longer belong only to me. Because once love becomes real enough to speak aloud, it changes everything. It stops being a dream and starts becoming a life. Still, every day I looked at you and realized something deeper than fear was growing inside me. Something stronger than hesitation. Something that kept reminding me that the most beautiful parts of life are not meant to be hidden forever. You walked into my life like someone who understood the silence I carried. You never rushed my heart. You never demanded answers before I was ready to give them. You simply stayed, patiently, gently, and that patience changed me. It taught me that love is not about dramatic moments or perfect words. Love is about presence, about choosing someone again and again, even in the quietest parts of life. You showed me that love can exist in simple things, in late conversations when the world is asleep, in the comfort of knowing someone believes in you even when you are uncertain about yourself, in the warmth of a hand held during moments when no words are necessary, in the warmth of a hand held during moments when no words are necessary. Slowly, the feeling I tried to hide began to transform into something undeniable. I realized that loving you was no longer just a part of my life. It had become the center of it. Every plan I made started to include you without me even noticing. As it. Every hope I had seemed brighter when I imagined you standing beside me. Every fear felt smaller when I remembered that I wasn't facing the world alone anymore. And that is when the truth began to feel impossible to hide. Because love like this does not stay silent forever. It grows louder with every shared moment, with every memory created together, thick, with every time your heart reminds you that the person standing beside you is not just someone you care about. They are someone you want to build a life with. I tried to keep the feeling calm, tried to act like it was just another chapter in the story of my life. But deep down, I knew something bigger was happening, something permanent, something that was quietly shaping the path of my future. The idea of a wedding used to feel distant to me, like a moment that belonged to other people's stories. Something beautiful but far away from my own life. Until you, until the day I realized that the thought of standing beside you promising a lifetime together did not feel like a dream anymore. It felt like the most honest truth my heart had ever known. That truth changed the way I looked at everything. Suddenly, the future was no longer a question mark. It was a path leading somewhere meaningful, somewhere shared, somewhere filled with laughter, challenges, growth, and a quiet comfort of waking up beside the person who understands your soul. And the more I tried to keep that vision hidden, the stronger it became. Because some truth refused to stay quiet. Music. Some feelings are too alive to remain secret. I began to notice it in the way my heart reacted whenever someone mentioned the future, in the way my thoughts immediately pictured you standing beside me, in the way the idea of forever stopped feeling intimidating and started feeling peaceful. You became the calm in my chaos, the steady presence in a world that often moves too fast. Music. The reminder that love does not have to be complicated to be real. And slowly I realized something simple but powerful. The wedding I kept hidden inside my heart was not just about a ceremony or a celeb. Ration, it was about the life we were already beginning to build together. It was about waking up each day and choosing the same person again, about growing older while still holding the same quiet admiration for each other, about creating a home filled with understanding, patience, and laughter. Those dreams stopped feeling like distant possibilities. They started feeling like distant possibilities. They started feeling inevitable. Every time I looked at you, I saw the person I wanted to share my years with, the person I wanted beside me during victories and failures, during calm days and difficult nights. And when a feeling reaches that level of certainty, hiding it becomes impossible. Because love that deep naturally seeks the light. It wants to be spoken. It wants to be celebrated. It wants to be celebrated. It wants to become a promise strong enough to last through everything life brings. For a long time, I tried to protect that promise by keeping it quiet. But the truth kept growing louder inside me. A truth that says some loves are not meant to stay hidden. Some loves are meant to stand in the open, proud and fearless, ready to build a future together. There comes a moment in life when the heart becomes completely honest with itself. A moment when all the quiet doubts slowly step aside and something deeper takes their place. It doesn't arrive loudly. It doesn't demand attention. It simply settles inside your soul like a calm certainty. I remember the time when the idea of forever felt distant to me. I remember the time when the idea of forever felt distant to me. Life felt like a long road where people crossed paths for a while and then continued walking in different directions. I believed love was beautiful, but I also believed it was fragile, something that could appear suddenly and disappear just as quickly. So I kept my heart careful, guarded, observing the world from a distance, learning from every story I heard and every mistake I saw others make. I convinced myself that protecting my heart meant keeping certain dreams far away. Then you came into my life with a quiet kind of presence that changed everything I thought I understood. You didn't arrive with grand promises or dramatic words. You arrived with something far more powerful. You arrived with something far more powerful. You arrived with sincerity, with kindness that didn't ask for attention, with a way of listening that made every conversation feel real. And little by little, the walls I had carefully built around my heart began to soften. At first, it was small moments that made me notice the difference. The way your voice could calm my thoughts after a difficult day. The way your laughter filled the silence with warmth. The way you understood things about me that I had never explained out loud. Those moments slowly created something extraordinary between us. It was not a sudden spark that fades after the excitement passes. It was something steadier, something patient, something that felt like two lives gradually learning how to move together in the same direction. For a long time, I watched that feeling grow with quiet amazement. I saw how naturally our lives began to connect, how conversations that started as simple exchanges slowly turned into long discussions about dreams, fears, and the future. How time spent together never felt wasted, no matter how ordinary the moment seemed. There was comfort in your presence that I had never experienced before, a comfort that made the world feel less complicated. You became the person I wanted to tell everything to. The first thought when something beautiful happened, and the first person I wanted beside me when life became difficult. And somewhere in the middle of all those ordinary days, something inside me shifted. I realized that loving you had changed the way I looked at the future. Before you, the future was just a collection of possibilities, a wide open space where anything could happen but nothing felt certain. After you, the future started to feel like a place already filled with meaning. Because every time I imagined the years ahead, you were there, standing beside me in quiet mornings, walking with me through crowded streets, sharing laughter during simple evenings at home, music, supporting each other through the unpredictable storms that life sometimes brings. That vision of the future began to appear so naturally that it stopped feeling like imagination. It started feeling like destiny. I tried to understand when exactly that change happened, when the idea of a wedding stopped into music, when the idea of a wedding stopped being a distant concept and started becoming something real inside my heart. Maybe it happened during one of those long conversations where we forgot about time. Maybe it happened in a quiet moment when I noticed how safe your presence made me feel. Maybe it happened slowly through hundreds of small experiences that gently shaped the way I saw our lives together. What I know is that the feeling grew stronger with every passing day. There is something powerful about you, realizing that you have found the person you want to grow old with, not because they are perfect, not because life with them will always be easy, but because loving them feels honest, natural, steady in a way that gives you peace rather than uncertainty. You became that peace for me. The world can be loud and unpredictable. People chase success, chase approval, chase dreams that sometimes leave them exhausted. In the middle of all that noise, you were the calm place where I could simply be myself. No masks, no expectations. Just two people understanding each other in the most human way possible. And that understanding slowly turned into something deeper than love.